had occurred during the night in Orlando, Florida. The nation was stunned that 49 people who were simply enjoying themselves that evening were killed, and 53 were seriously injured when a hate-filled man walked into the Pulse nightclub in Orlando with a military weapon and turned it loose on those innocent people, killing lives, breaking the hearts of families, and reminding us of our vulnerability in the America we call home. I went to work in Washington the next day in the United States Senate, and I asked the leaders in the Senate, what are we going to do? And they said, we are going to have a moment of silence. A moment of silence. That is an appropriate thing to do, to honor those who have died and those who are grieving. But it is not enough. And so on Wednesday, 6 United States senators, and I was happy to be part of it, said we are going to stop the business of the United States Senate until we take up the issue of gun violence in America. If you want to stop the business of the Senate, you start talking and you don't stop. And that's exactly what we did for 15 hours. 39 United States senators from all over the United States came forward and spoke from their hearts and their souls about gun violence. Yes, we talked about what happened in Orlando. Yes, we said we've got to keep these guns out of the hands of suspected terrorists, but we went on to say that is not enough. Cory Booker of New Jersey spoke about Newark. I spoke about Chicago. Others spoke about the towns that they represent and said there is more than just that terrible incident of mass murder in Orlando. There is a mass murder taking place across America every day and every week and every month. And it is touching families, innocent families in this city and across this nation, and it is time to do something about it. Today I have the honor to meet with the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, and I'm honored that he is here today to be part of that program. We respect you and we thank you for what you have done on behalf of this city for 28 years in that Chicago Police Department. And what he told me is something we should not forget. 40% of the crime guns that are killing innocent people in Chicago come from across the border in Indiana. Yes, gangbangers go over there, open the trunks of their cars, and buy as many guns as they can carry back over here to sell them in the neighborhoods at night. And you know what happens with those guns? They turn them loose on the neighborhoods. And the gangbangers are after one another, whatever it happens to be, but in the crossfire are grandmothers and babies and children and little girls and boys just doing their homework at the kitchen table. They die. And too many of them have died in this city and across this nation. And so we said, we will not stop talking until we get a promise to get a vote. We got that promise. And on Monday, we're going to have that vote. Amen. But I want to tell you, it'll take a miracle. It'll take a miracle to win it. We need your prayers to make sure there is such a miracle. But I want to beg you, whatever happens Monday, do not stop. Do not stop this commitment to stopping the violence in these neighborhoods. And I think the lesson that's been learned tonight is it starts with us as individuals. It starts with us as parents and grandparents. It starts with us with our neighbors and our blocks and our communities, our city, our state, and our nation. We've got to reclaim this ground that we call home. We've got to make it safe again. I didn't know that when I stopped talking in Washington on Wednesday, I guess it was Thursday morning at 1 a.m., that I'd be standing here talking to you on the steps of St. Sabina. But there's no better place for anybody to be tonight than right here in Chicago at St. Sabina with Father Mike doing our thing to bring peace to the streets. Thank you for letting me say a few words to you. Let's not just be committed. Let's not just march. Let's pray. Let's vote to make sure that we elect the people who have the courage to stand up to that gun lobby. Thank you all.
The next person I want to bring up has 3 full-time jobs. His first job is he's got to rebuild the broken bridge between the community and the law enforcement. Second job is he's got to continue to come up with the strategies that help us overcome the violence in this city of Chicago. And the third job is making sure that our police department is held responsible, and our police department is the best police department, understands that if you do wrong, you will be held accountable and will be punished. Those are 3 full-time jobs that have been given to one person. So I say this to you only because I've known this man for a long time. He was at one time the commander in this district. I watched him not just operate from the commander's post, but be out here in the streets and talking with brothers on the streets, talking with mothers and fathers out here every single day. I don't believe, and this is me, I don't believe there's a better person in this United States to take on the task that is almost seemingly impossible than this man. I have total confidence in him. And I think he's the best thing that could happen to Chicago. As he says all the time, I'm just a beat cop that happens to be sitting in the superintendent's job. Please welcome with me our new superintendent, Eddie Johnson.
Good evening.